This video was selected for release this month by my doll faces and Pop-Tarts over on Patreon. Much love to you as always. Hello, my sacramental mushrooms. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining me. We have an incredible amount of different types of witchcraft that we can use. As practitioners, we can be quite overwhelmed by the different possibilities. There are so many different types of spell. Which one do you choose? Which one is going to give you the best possible results? Over time, individual witches go along in their practices, and as they do, they build a directory. They figure out what their preferences are, what types of spellcraft they're really strong at, and the ones that different sort of categories that they like to use over and over again. And I myself, as a practitioner of many moons, have such a directory in my brain box. So today I'm going to talk you through some different themes that I might use spellcraft for, and I'm going to give you a sense of what type of spell I might be likely to choose. So I'm going to let you into my magical mind a little bit today, sweethearts.
There is no life I know to compare with your imagination.
Obviously, as always, I'm going to give the disclaimer right now. You do you. I'm not telling you that you have to use these specific categories of spell for any situation. I'm just talking to you about what would come to my mind and what kind of working I think I would do in each of these situations, because I have different types of spellcraft that I like to use primarily for different things. Let's get into it. Grab a notebook if you're looking for new ideas. And if you do not know what your magical preferences are, what kinds of spells you like to go for, then this might also give you some ideas and a way to brainstorm what kind of spells really sort of tempt you and make you feel like you're going to get the best possible result with your magic. If you appreciate this video, please make sure that you bestow a blessing upon the like button and get subscribed if you're not already. Okay, let's talk spellcraft. I'm so excited. Every single witch at a certain point in their life is going to do a spell that is connected to releasing something or sending something away. You want something gone, whether it's a feeling that you have inside you, a mindset you've been holding on to, a relationship in your midst, or relationship dynamics between people. Whatever it is, you want it gone and out of the way. So what would I choose for any kind of spell that's based around the themes of release, sending away, banishing, dispersing, dismissing? For me personally, if I'm releasing something that is inside of me, like an emotion, for example, or a bunch of emotions or mindsets that I'm holding on to, something that's holding me back, something that's within my own psyche, I'm probably going to go somatic first of all. I really enjoy for spells to be somatic when I'm working on things to do with me. So it's not to do with anything in the external realm. It's my issue and mine alone inside of me. I'm probably going to go for the 4 S's: shaking, singing, stomping, screaming. Anything like that where I'm actually shaking it out of me, I'm ecstatic dancing it out of me. You know, I'm doing that kind of like body work, because I find body work in spellcraft is really useful for me to exercise what is within me. I would probably start the somatic working with some really strong, powerful words, whether that's poetry that I've written, whether it's quotes. I might even put a playlist into the mix, but the main sort of feature of the spell is going to be that somatic work where, like I said, I shake it out, I sing it out. I might chant it out. I might do some screaming into a pillow or screaming into a blanket. I love the scream cleanse. I love all that stuff. I feel like doing the body work really just ejects whatever it is that is within me. And when you put that into the container of a spell, I just think it's a really strong technique. Another technique that I really favor, and I know that I'm not alone here, is cord cutting. I love cord cutting for releasing, sending away, dismissing, getting the fuck rid of, basically. I love the method where you actually use a string. So you get something that symbolizes you get something that symbolizes whatever it is that you want to get rid of, whether it's, you know, a relationship, whether it's a mindset, whatever it is. You tie the string between the 2 objects and then you cut the string with scissors. Obviously, there's a lot more to it in a spellcraft sort of container where I would use words and I would probably hold the string and think about all the things that that yucky string represents. But then the finale, the grand finale of the spell would be doing the cutting. So scissors are the main character for me in a cord cutting spell. Cauldron work is also a really big thing for me when I'm releasing and sending away. I very often will get my cauldron out and set fire to something within that fireproof container to represent that I'm done with it. It is no more. Goodbye. Vamoose. Adios, darling. I really love fire for both releasing and receiving. But in terms of getting rid of something, saying goodbye to something, I think I could do a lot worse than writing that thing down and then committing it to the flame. If I really want to go for the top shelf stuff, like if this is a really serious release working where I really need to be rid of whatever the fuck it is that I need to be rid of, I might break out the banishing. Okay, I do like a banishing every once in a while, and I am particularly strong with banishing workings. And one way that I really love to do banishing is with poetry. I have actually done a few good banishings by writing a poem, working on the poem over time, putting all of the fucking energy into that poem. And when I've completed it and I read it aloud in sacred space in front of my gods and guides and the cosmos, that is when I feel like the banishing has really done its thing. It's worked, you know. Sometimes I've been known to finish a poem, a really angry, really strong, protective poem, and even as I've finished it, I feel like the banishing has started. But when I take it into the magical container and I put it into the spell as the kind of, you know, main attraction of the spell, that is when I feel like, oh wow, it's gone. I can actually feel that it's fucking left me and it's not coming back. In case anybody is wondering, I've absolutely used this poetry banishing technique to banish 2 people out of my life, and one of them very swiftly moved to a completely different country. So it does work, okay? If you combine the witch with the poet, it's dangerous, okay? Don't piss me off because you'll know about it.
See that? Fucking play with that, right? Never mind your fucking toys. Play with that. Go and stand in that fucking corner. Stand over there, right? And do not move, or I will perform a fucking living fucking autopsy on you with a fucking rusty spade, and I'll have your kidneys for fucking cufflinks.
Let's go in the other direction now and talk about some techniques that I favour for receiving, bringing in, calling something into my life. So the total opposite energy to releasing. One of my favourite techniques is sigil magic for this. I find sigils to be so potent when I really, really want to call in my desires, open up those doors and let those opportunities come through. I don't always design my own sigil using something like the spare method. I have done that, but it's not something I always do. Sometimes I literally just find a symbol off the internet and decide that that is the symbol that represents what I want to bring in. But I do sometimes also use collage. I am a collage artist, and sometimes I have collaged sigils and things like that. And sometimes I just take a few different magical symbols and put them together and make something with them. So there's a few different ways in which I might develop a sigil. And I also do happen to use my signature as a kind of general sigil for all kinds of different things as well. There are 3 different ways that I primarily like to charge a sigil and make sure that the intention is out there in the world, doing its thing and boomeranging back to me. The first way is that I post it to myself. I actually put it into an envelope and I post it to myself. And when I receive it, I keep it unopened, okay? Another way that I like to do it is to burn it. I know that a lot of people favor the burning of sigils. And thirdly, I put it on a piece of food and I eat it. I either put it in hot sauce on something, or I put it on icing on a bit of cake or something like that, and I actually consume the sigil. So those are the 3 main ways that I like to make sure that the sigil is doing its thing and it's been activated and it's working on my behalf. Another massive form of magic that I would favor for bringing in something is glamour work, okay? I think especially when you're trying to call in opportunities from the outside, you want to meet the right people, you want the right doors to open, you want to make the right impression. Glamour workings are really great for that kind of thing. And I usually do glamour workings not only by deciding what I'm going to wear, what I'm going to say and all that kind of stuff, but also sometimes by evoking the personalities and the traits of key figures that I work with, you know, like long dead rock stars, for example, movie icons, people from literature, like figures from literature. Those kinds of things I love doing and I love bringing in for glamour workings. I'm very keen on enchanting jewelry and enchanting clothing, all of my accessories and stuff like that. Very often they will be enchanted, and I definitely consider that to be part of the glamour working. And just getting into the vibe, setting the aura, setting the intention for different things to happen and for me to be able to project certain parts of my personality forward instead of others. So I'm kind of like finessing in a sophisticated way the way in which I'm going to present to the world. I also really love poppet magic for bringing things in. Whenever I want to receive something, I often grab one of my poppets and I just surround the poppet with all of the different things that I desire. So I use things that symbolize what I desire to bring in, and I offer those things to the poppet. I put them all over the poppet and all around the poppet, and I put my hands over my poppet and I speak words of opportunity and success and abundance to that poppet, which symbolizes me. So it's like I take on the God perspective and I am bestowing upon myself, upon my human self, all of those things that I most want and desire. Something else that I very very often use spellcraft for is adjusting, harmonizing, sweetening. So I'm not really releasing and I'm not really receiving. It's more like I'm rearranging the pieces of something so that the energy is better, so that maybe people are getting on with each other or they can hear each other and communicate better. There's more of a feeling of lightness in a situation, or I just feel better about how it's going. I very often use spellcraft to do that sweetening and adjusting and harmonizing work. And I have slightly different techniques that I prefer for that kind of stuff. So one thing that I love for this is scripting. Scripting is a really big one whenever I'm just trying to like adjust things and make things feel optimal for what I need them to be. And the scripting will literally be me sat with my magical notebook or with loose leaf paper, and I'm literally writing out the perfect scenario as though it's happening or it's just happened. So let's say that I had a really pants month last month, everything went wrong, and I really want to get into the zone for the following month or the following moon cycle or whatever it is. I will literally sit and script out the perfect scenario for everything that I want to have come true, and then I will read it aloud, and I'll read it aloud within the magical container, within sacred space, with all my gods and guides listening, with the perfect arrangement of different things or whatever, and I will literally sort of like go into the script and see it coming alive as I'm writing it and then again as I'm reading it. I also love to use visualization for this, so I might not always actually script with my pen and paper. Sometimes I will just create the perfect, most high vibe, most beautiful visualization of how I want something to go, and I will go into that visualization so fully, and I will hold it and I will add things to it and I'll tweak it and, you know, just put little bells and whistles on it to make it the most potent visualization that it can be. And then I will allow that visualization to be held, to be guarded, and to be protected and watched over by my gods and guides, or just by the highest possible energies of protection that I can put around it. I'm a professional tarot reader for many years, and I do really love to use tarot in Magick. And this is one way that tarot comes in very strongly, is doing kind of like a tarot story time. So if I have a specific way that I want energy to be rearranged, or I want things to kind of like change in some regard with an energy or a situation, I'll get my tarot deck and I'll go through the tarot deck and I'll just look consciously face up at the cards, and I'll think to myself, this is who I want to be in the situation, and these are the cards that represent what I want to bring to the energy, and these cards represent what I would like externally, so the opportunities that I want, you know, the things that I want to decrease and increase, the strengths that I want to see from other people, the whole vibe. So I'll basically choose tarot cards for every single part of the scenario that I want to bring in, and then I'll lay them all out on the floor. And what I like to do is get a candle, like a dinner candle in a candle holder, and I go through every card and I speak aloud. I do the tarot story time. I say, okay, this is me. This is how I'm feeling. This is what's going on with me. These are the opportunities that come in. This is how the energy feels changed. This is how everybody else feels better. And this is the amazing end result that we're getting. So I'll talk through the story time of what I want to have adjusted or harmonized. Energy gifting is another really good technique if you want to sweeten or harmonize something. Let's say that things are not feeling that great in your home at the moment. People are arguing, people are miscommunicating. The vibe is not great, okay? Energy gifting is amazing. It's basically you just taking your energies of love and care and concern for your family, and then just sending that energy outwards into the house, into the walls, into the food that you're eating. You're sending forth your intentions and something from your auric field so that it lands directly into the areas where things feel disharmonious, and the harmony kind of grows out of that intention that you're sending. Finally, on this point, I am a really big fan of box magic. I've made a whole video on box magic. I'll leave it for you down below. I've probably made videos on a lot of these things I'm talking about, to be honest with you. But box magic is really good for adjusting energy, because you can put things inside the box that represent the situation and what you want the situation to be. And then you can bind up the box, put it in a blanket, leave it somewhere dark, and let it cook, let it stew. And that is the way that you bring different intentions and energies together, and you seal them together so that they actually bake like an energetic lasagna.
John made my favorite 7-layer lasagna cake. I hope he put in plenty of mozzarella.
Box magic can be really good if you want to harmonize things or just get the energy moving in a different direction in a situation. I've used the humble box many times. It is foolproof, and as a witch, I highly recommend. I want to give you an idea of the kind of spells that I use for well-being, healing, feeling better, whether that's physically, mentally, whatever whatever it happens to be. One of the things that I love doing is enchanting my food and enchanting my drinks, chanting over them before I consume them, reading poetry over them before I consume them, doing all of that kind of thing, pre-making food and actually putting a lot of magical energy and intention in, and then storing them before you eat them, and just going back and like giving more and more energy to the food before you consume it is a really powerful thing to do. It's so simple, but it's so effective. You're going to consume the food. So if you know that you need extra well-being, doing a spell on your food, enchanting the food, there are so many more complex things you could do that take more time and energy. But enchanted food is like, it's simple. It's simple, it's effective. I find it to be very effective. I try really hard to drink enough water over the course of the day. I know sometimes I do fail in that regard and I end up a little dehydrated bunny, but I do try to drink enough water. And one thing that I love doing when it comes to enchanted food and drinks is just to put a spell on the water, put all of the water together in the 2-litre thingy or whatever. I've got mine just over there. It should be next to me, but it's not. Just actually doing a spell over the entire load of water that I'm going to be drinking for the day is really, really good. And also pre-enchant your tea leaves or your tea bags. Seriously, if you use loose leaf tea, put your fingers through it, sing to it, put a spell on it, darling. Trust me, okay? Before it goes in the teapot, do a magical thing to the tea leaves. You will not regret it. I also really love the retreat vibe. I love the spa vibe. I've actually got an astral retreat and I write about it a little bit in my second book, Witch in Darkness. And I really love going there. I love going there, taking a load off and just like getting all of the treatments that I need in my astral retreat. Another way that I tend to do this is through getting into sacred space, but making sacred space around my bed. And then I just get into my bed and I have a little sacred space nap, you know, or a sacred space bath. You can make sacred space around your bath. You can make sacred space anywhere that you want to chill out, and that gives you a way more powerful chill out session or nap time than you would have had otherwise. You feel extra protected, you feel held, you feel like something magical is happening even when you're doing the least that you could possibly do because you're in rest mode. That rest mode is elevated by putting it inside the magical container. Many of you know that I'm a massive fan of the humble poppet or the not so humble poppet. I love poppet magic, and definitely when it comes to well-being and healing, I'm going to be using my poppet. I'm going to be singing to it. I'm going to be wrapping it in blankets. I'm going to be anointing its head with oil. I'm going to be giving loads of beautiful high vibe advice and insights to it. All that kind of thing can be happening when I need well-being and I need healing. In fact, one of my poppets has a complete box with all of the bits and pieces that go into it, and I like to sometimes put her in the box, and that's my way of saying you need rest, you need rejuvenation, you need to be away from all of this, you need to be somewhere protected and safe where you can just fucking chill and focus on you. And so the poppet is a really excellent symbol of yourself that you then can provide wellness and healing for, and then that extends to you in your human body, in your human circumstances. Finally, I want to talk a little bit about the kind of spellcraft that I would choose if I was trying to get something over the finish line, if I was developing a skill, if I was trying to complete something, if I was, you know, putting a lot of effort and energy into a project and I really needed the magic to take me to that final stage and make sure that I'm successful in what I'm trying to do. One thing that I really love to pull out of the bag for spellcraft like that is servitors. Servitor magic is the absolute fucking top shelf option when I know that I need help, I need the extra power and momentum to be able to complete something. I need success. I'm putting everything into it, but I want that extra thing. Servitors will give that to me every time. I love creating them. I have ones that are like the single-use servitor, you know, that is just created for that one project, and then we bid adieu and it goes back into pure energy. And then other servitors I've kept for, wow, the longest serving servitor I have is probably about 10 years old now. And I just keep returning to work with that servitor, that incredible magical thought form that was built for exactly the purpose and the job that I needed it to do. I love working with thought forms. I love designing them. I love the fact that you can have your little astral helpers that build a connection with you over time around their skill set, and they get better and better at it, and they give you better and better results. You really can be a designer as a witch, and I think not enough witches probably probably remember that often enough. You know, don't forget that you are the grand designer. What do you need? What kind of assistance do you need? What kind of support do you require? And can you actually design a thought form with your own ingenuity and imagination that can tick that box and help you to do that thing? Some servitors are kind of coaches or mentors. Others are kind of like the muscle, they're the brawn, they roll their sleeves up and get involved with you. You can have a servitor that inspires you and gives you ideas and inspiration. You can have a servitor that calms you down and gets you back into neutral in your headspace. Servitors serve all kinds of purposes. You can have a thought form for everything you can think of. So I definitely would be likely, if I was doing an ongoing project or I was trying to get something over the finish line, I would be likely to design a thought form or call upon one that I've already made. If I was working on an ongoing project and I knew it was going to be a while until it got completed and I really wanted some kind of magical accompaniment, that might be a really good time to use a candle as well. Candle spells, I think, are really great for ongoing magical intention. I really enjoy lighting a candle every single time I'm working on the project that I'm doing. I did this with both of my books and I've done this with other projects of mine as well. I have a working candle that is dedicated to that creative project, and every time I'm working on that thing, I light the candle. I've also had problems with various things in the past, like completing chores or doing paperwork during depressed episodes, and having that accompanying candle that I light only when I'm trying to do that thing and then I extinguish it when I'm done doing that thing has been incredible. It's like a divine buddy system. The candle as an actual friend that goes with you through the process and brings that light and intention to the process is a very, very powerful but very simple and probably very underused technique. Of course, you can dress the candle, you consecrate the candle, you can sing to it or do whatever you want to do. You can carve things into it, but that becomes your working candle for that specific thing. Just like you might have a working candle for a specific goddess or whatever, you can have one for a specific project that you're trying to take over the finish line. Darlings, I have made hundreds and hundreds of videos about magical technique at this point. It is quite ridiculous. My body of work on YouTube is getting plainly and simply out of hand. So if you want more from me about magic, please go over to my witchcraft playlist and check out everything that I've put together for you lovingly. I've put it together lovingly. I've put loads and loads of my blood, sweat and tears into those videos. So please make use of them. They are for you to enjoy. If you want to talk to me one-to-one about your witchcraft journey, you can get a witchy brainstorming session. You can purchase one right now on my website. And I also offer packages of 3 and 6 if you want that ongoing accountability and insight. I love helping witchcraft practitioners to design a path that works for them. So please give me the opportunity to step inside your practice and let's see what we can do together. One more thing that you might be interested in knowing, my darlings, my Pop-Tarts over on Patreon are going to be doing a cauldron conjuring at the end of this month, okay? So if you're watching at the time of upload and you want to get together with other witches and do a collective cauldron working, you have to go over to Patreon and become a Pop-Tart right now. We love doing the cauldron conjurings. They are so atmospheric and so powerful. So meet us there for the cauldron conjuring that we're doing at the end of this month. Come and be a part of it. Please go down in the comments and let me know what kind of spellcraft categories you favour for different things. I'm so curious to know how we overlap and then how we are different from each other. So let me know what goes on in your practice. What kind of spells do you really prefer? Where are you really fucking strong in spellcraft? Toot your own horn, give yourself your flowers down in the comments and let me know if there was anything I mentioned in this video that you would like more information on, and I'll definitely consider making a full-length video about it in the future. I'm always open to suggestions, okay? I'm not a wedding DJ. I'm not going to be taking every request, but I will definitely think about putting something together if it tickles my fancy. Much love. Until next time, my darlings, happy magic making and blessed be. Mwah.